In the data hierarchy, you have the year, the quarter, the month, the weekday. But where are the weeks? Now in this video, I'm going to show you how to deal with weeks and use them in your calculations. Welcome to How to Power BI. My name is Bas, and if this is the very first time for you visiting this channel, then make sure to hit that subscribe button to stay up to date on all of my videos in which I share everything I know about Power BI. Now let's talk about weeks. Why do you want to break down your visuals by week in the first place? Now let me show you this example where we have sales data by day, and for each day we have exactly the same sales amount of 1,000 euros. Now if I visualize that data in a column chart like this one over here, then you see we have some fluctuation month over month. And that is a little bit deceiving because we have exactly the same sales amount for every day. And just because February has fewer days than January, we have here a lower sales amount for February. And that's a little bit dangerous and very important to realize when you are comparing your values month over month. And that's why a lot of businesses break down their values by week. However, there's a bit of a problem here because the standard data hierarchy doesn't include the week. Now let me show you over here. We have the calendar hierarchy that includes the year, quarter, month and weekday. And also at the point where we have to do some calculations, well, year, quarter, month is always in there. However, week is always missing. And that's because weeks are a little bit tricky, because depending on where you are in the world, you count your weeks a little bit different. For example, in Europe, the numbering of the weeks is different from the US. So let's see how we can deal with that by going to our date table. Now over here, I have a custom date table already set up using a DAX formula. Now, if you don't know how to do that, then just check out this video over here. But this is a starting point, and now I want to add a column that contains the weeks. Now let's go to our formula and add an extra line to create this week column. So over here we can say week, that's going to be the column name. And then we can use the function week number, where we just have to refer to the date. And then the second part of the function where it gets interesting, because here we have to say, where does your week start? Does it start on a Sunday, on a Monday, maybe even a Saturday, or do you have a totally different week counting system like in Europe? Well, if we go for a 1, that is the standard that the US uses, then we start on a Sunday. So let's go for a 1 first before we check the European standard. And if we then go to a point in a date table where we switch the years, for example, from the year 21 to 22, then you see that we have here at the end week 53, and then we restart on the 1st of January. And because in the US we have Saturday as the last day of the week, well, we only have 1 day in week number 1 before we already go to number 2, which is of course something then that you need to take into account when you break down your visuals by week. For example, here in a bar chart, there I have then just 1 day for that first week. Now in Europe, the counting of the weeks is a bit different. There you would always have 7 days in a week, which is the good part. However, you don't restart just on the 1st of January. Now for the ISO standard, the weeks start on a Monday. However, what is the first week? Well, there are different tricks to remember where week 1 starts. If you look, for example, here on Wikipedia, it is the week with the first business day in the starting year, or the week with the 4th of January in it. Just remember one. And let's go back to Power BI and let's add the week numbering, but now using the ISO standard. Now over here, I'm just going to add another line, just copy this over. And this is going to be my ISO week, so week ISO. And the only thing that we need to change is the number for the second argument. Well, here we have the choice, either 1 or 2, but actually we can also type in 21, which is the ISO standard. Don't ask me why it doesn't show up in the entire sense. And if I go to the same spot in my date table again as before, where we go from the year 21 to 22, then you see that for the 1st of January and the 2nd of January, there we actually are still in ISO week number 52. And the first week only starts on the 3rd of January here. Now, again, the big benefit is that you always have 7 days in the week. However, now we have a different problem when we break down a visual by year and week. Let me show you. Now I'm going to insert a table and create a breakdown by the year and week. Now, first of all, I need to make sure that the week and the ISO week don't summarize. So over here, I select the week, go to the top, column tools, and then here summarization, set it to don't summarize. And the same for the ISO week as well. And now I'm going to create a breakdown by the year and by week. And let's then also put in the date. And then I sort in descending order the year, the week, and the date. And here you see there's nothing really special going on, just that week 1 has just 1 day in it. However, we count the weeks and we go for the year 22 all the way up to week 53. Now let's do the same thing, but now with the ISO weeks. So I take the normal weeks out, take the week ISO in. So I replace the normal weeks with the ISO weeks. And now I sort only on the year column and the ISO week column. So now you see something weird is going on because we have more than 7 days in week number 52. How's that possible? Well, look at the dates. We have here for week 52, the 1st and 2nd of January, 22. And then also at the end of the year, December 26th until the 31st of December. So actually it's not the same week because these first 2 days, they belong to week 52, but the one that started in the year 21. And this is a little bit tricky because now we are mixing the normal calendar years with the ISO weeks. And if you use ISO weeks, you also need to, well, calculate the years a little bit different. Let me show you. If I go back to the date table, then here we have to add a new column, and this is going to be my year ISO column. And to save a little bit of time, I'm just going to copy in the formula that calculates the ISO years. Now let me just explain the main idea of this formula. So over here we just check if we are at the end of the year with the US week numbering, and if we then have a European week number that is below 5, then we want to add +1 to the year. Now, if this is not the case, then we check if we are at the beginning of the year. If we then have an ISO week that is above 50, then we want to subtract a year. And if none of these 2 conditions hold, then we just want to return the normal calendar year. Okay, now with that, we can then go back to our visual. And then also here, you don't want year ISO to summarize. And then we can replace the normal calendar year with the ISO year. And if I then sort again in descending order by the year and by the week, you see our problem is not there anymore. And if I go to the beginning of the year 22, then you see for the 1st and 2nd of January, we now have the ISO year 21 and not the year 22. So now you see we can have an hierarchy again with the ISO year and the ISO weeks. So what is important is that you should not mix the calendar year with the ISO weeks, and that is the problem that a lot of people run into. So now you know a week is not just a week. You have to be aware what system you use for counting the weeks. But once you figure that out, then the next part is the calculations. And also here, again, it's a little bit tricky. Let me show you. If we, for example, want to calculate the total sales from previous week, then you will see that for week calculations, there are no standard functions that you can use. As an example, if we want to have, let's say, month to date or quarter to date or year to date, then we have standard functions that we can use. However, for weeks, that's not the case. And let's say we want to have the sales from previous week, then with calculate, we can change the filter context. So we could say, okay, calculate total sales, and I want to go 1 week back. And I can do this normally with a function like dateAdd, where we can say, okay, we have our dates in the date table. I want to go 1 interval back, and that interval should be a week. But we only have year, quarter, month, day. The weeks are not there. Now you might say, okay, but you can go 7 days back. However, again, it depends a little bit on where your week starts and where it ends. So it's not a perfect solution. Now, how should you then approach these week calculations? Now, also here, we have to make an adjustment or an addition to our date table. And what it comes down to is that we need a column with a continuous number for our weeks. That continues also after week number 52, 53, and just keeps on going up. Because then we can say, okay, figure out in what week we currently are, -1 gives you the previous week. Okay, so how to add this one depends a little bit on what week numbering system you're using again. Now let me show you first the US standard, where we start counting the weeks on a Sunday. Now here I go back to my date table, and then over here, let's call this column week ID. And then we can use again the week number function. We want to have the week number from the date. We're going to start on a Sunday, so 1. And then here, the interesting part. How can we make sure that we continue after week number 52, 53? Well, we could say plus, and then calculate the difference from the current year to the minimum year in your data set. So we could use the year function, and then take the year from the current date on a row, and subtract the minimum year. Now, the minimum year, you see I created already a variable here at the top where I just take the minimum date in my data model or in my sales table and then extract the year. That's what I then subtract from the year of the current date that I'm looking at. Okay, and then we can say multiply that by 53. So if I'm in the year 2018, then would be then 2018 minus 2018, 0 times 53. So I just get the normal week number. But if I'm in the year 2019, then 2019 minus 2018 would be a 1 times 53. This would then be added to the current week number. And in this way, I keep on going up. So you see in my date table over here, we have the week column. I go from week 53 to week 1, a new year. And here my week ID continues going up in steps of 1. So how could I achieve the same thing for the ISO weeks? Now let me show you that logic. So I insert a new column, so week ID ISO. And let's do this step by step. So first of all, I need a function that's called weekday, where I can extract the weekday from the date. And then here we have to say, okay, where do we start counting the day numbers? And we go for a 3. Then you see here in the date table, on Monday we have a 0, and then on Sunday we have a 6 over there. So now I want to figure out the first date of the week, so the date where the week starts. And that I can do by then taking the date and simply subtracting that weekday. So now you see here at the beginning we have the 1st of January 2018, that's where that week starts, and then it jumps to the 8th of January, etc. Now the next thing that I want to do is to check how many weeks we are away from the very first week in my data set. So over here at the beginning we should get 0, then for the next week we should get a 1, and then a 2, etc. Now the very first week that we have in this data set starts on the 1st of January 2018. So over here I created another variable that I just need to update to the 1st of January 2018. And then we can subtract that from what we had before. And so over here we have start week 1, and we want to have an integer value. So I'm going to wrap this inside of an int function. And then you see indeed we have for that first week is 0, then it goes to 7, 14, 21. Well, not exactly what we wanted to have, because I wanted to have the number of weeks, not the number of days from that first week. So therefore we still need to make one small adjustment, and that is that we want to first add 7 so that we don't have 0 for the first week, and then we can divide the whole thing by 7 to turn it instead of days into weeks. And there you go, we have now a nice week ID number that goes up in steps of 1, and then also when we check out where it switches the years. So over here you see the ISO week goes from 52 to 1, and our week ID for ISO number goes from 52 to 53. So the week ID columns are in place. Now the calculation itself that uses these columns. Now let's go back to our calculation, and you see over here we are just going 7 days to the back, not really taking into account our week numbering system that we are using. And now I'm going to improve this a bit. And first of all, we need to figure out the previous week number. So if you have a table like the one below, there's always filter context. Now in this case, that filter context is on the year and the week. And if I would say, give me the maximum week number, well, in that filter context, there is only 1 week. So if I say max or min, here on the second row, it will always return then the 2. Now I can use that to create, for example, a variable. Let's call it previous week ID. And this is going to be the maximum of, well, the week ID, but I don't want to have the current week ID, but the previous one. So -1. And then we can create another variable. This is going to contain the result. Now this stays as it is. Now this line I don't need anymore. Now here we first need to remove any filter that we have on a date table. So here we can say remove filters, and we want to remove it from the date table. And then here we need to put in the new filter in place, which is then going to be week ID needs to be equal to, well, the previous week ID that we just calculated before. And then because we're using variables, we need to say return the result. So now let's add it then to our table visual. And you see for week number 2, we have, well, the previous week sales of 4.2 million. Okay, so the calculation seems to be working. Now the thing that you should always check is where you go from one year to the other, you see also here it still nicely works. And what if you need to do the same calculation but then for the ISO weeks? Well, it would use exactly the same logic. The only difference is that you would then use the ISO week ID instead. So this is how you can deal with week calculations in Power BI. Now, of course, I know that there are also other calendar systems like 445 or 454, but I saved that for a different video. Now, I hope that you got some value out of this video. If you did, then consider subscribing. If you have any questions, just post them in the comment section below. And I want to thank you for watching and see you in the next video.